Okay. Hi ladies, for those of you that are jumping in and watching the live stream, we're just about to start our free seminar, so feel free to sit back and have a watch. Okay. Thanks for coming tonight. I appreciate that you've all come out here. I know that it's getting a little bit cold and a little bit late. I'm actually, for those of you that don't know, I used to live in Canberra, but I don't live in Canberra any longer. I live down in Jervis Bay, so we drove up here today, and I've been gone less than a year, and I forgot what Canberra weather is like and how it turns suddenly. So we got up here, and me and my boys quickly did a trip to Best and Less to get jumpers. So now we're set for the weekend. So how we're Mummy Fit Time and also work in Jervis Bay, so I work interstate, is because all the services that I provide are online. So I do online training, online 12-week challenges, a body blitz. Basically, it's all online basically. So yeah, that's how I roll. A little bit about me before we get started is I have been working in the health and fitness industry for going on, how long now? I've just had a birthday on Monday, so I would say we're now 15 years, yeah. So 15 years in the health and fitness industry. Prior to opening Mummy Fit Time, I used to own a dance and fitness studio that's actually it was in Queanbeyan. I had that for 9 years and closed that down or sold it when I had my youngest one. No, my oldest one. I was pregnant with my youngest one, only just, because I was finding, I was feeling quite burnt out, and it was a huge load with having a small child at home. And so it was a really good year for me to sit back and reflect after I sold that business about the way that I could still help mums and help people with my passion of helping them move forward with their health and fitness, and that's where I moved into the online space and how Mummy Fit Time came about. So Mummy Fit Time's been running for just over a year now. In November 2017 I started it, and like I said, we do online training and online fitness, health, nutrition. Basically it's the whole health model which we're going to talk about tonight. I've got 2 boys myself, so I've got a 4-year-old boy and a 2-year-old boy, and they keep me very busy, as I'm sure you can all agree that's what happens when you've got kids. Yeah. All right, so let's get started. So tonight we're talking about ways to shift unwanted body fat. Okay. Now we could talk about this in 2 ways, which is body weight versus body fat. We're going to try to focus more on body fat because, as you'll see, I'm going to talk about the reasons why we may have trouble shifting weight. So we want to find the differences there between weight and fat because they're 2 very different things. So I came up with tonight's topic because I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I've experienced this quite a few times, is people go, oh, what are you expecting? And I'm like, oh, quietly dying inside. And I do hold all of my weight in my belly, and since having children, this has been the hardest spot to actually lose weight. So I wanted to focus around belly fat and ways that we can look at reducing that and feeling more confident in our bodies. So let's start with the first thing that I was going to talk about, which was weight does not actually equal fat. Okay, so there are a number of reasons why you might be appearing to have a bit of a possibly a pregnant looking belly, or you might be feeling quite uncomfortable in your belly region. So let's just talk about those quickly. The first is hormones. So probably the worst time to weigh yourself, if you are weighing yourself or doing measurements, is 2 to 3 days before your period. Because 2 to 3 days before your period, that is when our estrogen and progesterone levels drop, and they are the particular hormones that are responsible for water retention and the way that we retain water in our belly. So when those hormone levels are dropping, then we tend to retain a lot more water in our belly region, which gives us that bloated look. So that's one of the reasons. So it can cause bloating within our digestive tract. And then there's also the other part where some of us, when we're experiencing PMS, we have cravings and we just want to eat all of the food. And we will talk about that too, about how when you want to eat all of the food, it also does give you that little bloated look in your belly as well. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's continue with water retention. So your body can retain water for a number of reasons. It might retain water because you don't eat water, you've drunk too much water, you haven't drank enough water, or it might be that you've eaten salty foods and so your body is retaining the water because you've consumed too many salty foods. It's kind of like, I don't know, think of like a sponge and how that retains water, basically, and that's what your body is doing when it is, it's within water retention. So I'm just going to flip my page so I don't lose track of where I am. Okay, and normally water retention is a temporary thing on the scales. So I don't normally encourage weighing yourself too often anyway, but just be conscious that that might be a reason why you've suddenly put on weight overnight. If you've weighed yourself one day and then the next day you are like 1 or 2 kilos heavier, it could be that you're retaining water. Now the next thing is that food babies are a real thing. So you know, like the joke that people do when they go, oh, look at my food baby, and it looks like they're pregnant. That's a real thing, and that's based on how much you eat. So it's only natural that if you've eaten 1 kilo of food, you're going to be holding an extra kilo in your body, because that's a kilo of weight that you put into your body. The good news is though that it won't stay in your body for long, so it will work its way through the digestive tract and out it goes. So it's not a permanent weight when you see, when you've got a food baby along the way. And then that leads us to digestive issues as well. So there's a couple of reasons why we might be having that it looks like we're quite weighty in our belly area, and that might be due to 2 things with digestive issues. If you're constipated, then you're going to hold a lot more in your bowels, and that's going to show on the scales as excess weight. It could go the opposite way, and if you've got really loose bowel motions, then you might have a bit of inflammation in your bowels, and that inflammation could be showing up in other ways. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to feel inflammation down there. It could be inflamed all the way through your digestive tract. So that brings me on to the next thing about inflammation. Inflammation can also be as a result of intolerances. So you might have, say, gluten intolerance or a lactose intolerance, and that can cause your digestive system to become quite unhappy and quite inflamed. And some of the symptoms of that is cramping in your belly, wind, having trouble with your bowels, etc. So first and foremost, if you do feel like you're experiencing any thing going on in your bowel region, I definitely recommend you seek medical help or get advice from a doctor. But that could be a reason why you're appearing quite bloated and heavy in your belly region. The other thing that might contribute, this isn't about specifically belly fat, this is about weight all over your body. And you might find that you have jumped on the scales and you might be doing this awesome fitness program, and then you find 4 weeks later you're heavier than when you started. That's because you're building muscle. So this is not something that happens overnight. You don't go to the gym, do a workout with weights, weigh yourself the next day and suddenly you're 2 kilos heavier. This takes time for your muscles to build. However, that's not a bad thing, and this is why I am not too fussed about what you actually see on the scales in terms of weight, because it can be that you have built muscle, and building muscle is actually a really good thing if you're wanting to lose fat, because what building muscle does is building muscle requires energy to function, to build, and to repair. So for example, if you've done a weight workout and you've torn the muscle fibers, which does generally happen when you are doing a weight workout, then those muscle fibers, which is the recovery period after your workout, those muscle fibers need to repair, and to repair they require energy, and so you're consuming more energy, and by using more energy within your body, you're also burning more of those fat stores. So it's kind of a good thing to build muscle. It's not a bad thing to be building muscle. So that's just a few reasons why you might be experiencing excess weight, or you might be appearing to have a bit of extra weight around your belly. Okay? So let's talk about actual tummy fat now as well. So I'm going to start with some bad news, and unfortunately, you cannot spot reduce when it comes to fat loss. So you can't go, all right, body, I am going to lose fat from here today, because it doesn't work like that. Your body chooses where it wants to lose fat from first, and unfortunately, it tends to be the areas that you least want to lose fat from. Generally, you'll lose fat from the limbs first, and that is, it's a bit of a, what's the word when you go back in time? Evolutionary, yeah, thank you. It's a bit of an evolutionary thing, because before we were in a time of the world where we've got all this access to food and everything, your body didn't know when your next meal was coming. So basically, when you were in periods of starvation or famine, then your body tends to burn the fat from the areas that you need less to actually live, to actually function. So for example, your arms are just muscle and bone. There's no vital organs, and that's why we tend to hold a lot of weight, particularly women tend to hold a lot of weight around the belly region, because that's where our vital organs are. So let's talk about the two different types of belly fat, because there's two types, and that's why, again, it is so hard, because belly fat, that's the only region in the whole body where there is two types of fat. The rest is just fat, okay, or subcutaneous fat, which is what I'm going to talk about. So subcutaneous fat is the outer layer of fat, okay, so that's the fat that you see on the rest of your body. It's the outer layer of fat, which is generally where you store your fat stores. It's the excess fat. Then you've got visceral fat. So visceral fat is more, it's termed or considered the more dangerous fat, because visceral fat is the fat that's around your organs, and your I was going to say internal organs. All of your organs are internal, I'm pretty sure. So visceral fat can be, like, you can't see visceral fat, basically. So, for example, if someone's got a bit of excess weight around their belly, then you can see that they've got that little bit of excess weight. However, visceral fat is sometimes referred to as the skinny person's fat, because there's a circus warehouse here. They do their training. That's why you can hear thumping, because they're doing circus training. So, I think it's just around the corner. Oh. So we're not under invasion or anything like that. It's circus. Visceral fat is, it's the fat that's sort of hidden under the layers, and it's sort of around the organs, and that's a more dangerous fat, because basically what it does, it starts to suffocate the organs. We don't want that, because we want long, healthy, happy lives. Okay, so that is basically the gist about fat and tummy fat. Does anyone have any questions so far? No? Okay, cool. We'll move on. So now we're going to talk about the fastest and healthiest way to lose unwanted fat. So when we're talking about fat loss and weight loss, there are 4 pillars that we want to think about, and the 4 pillars are exercise, nutrition, sleep, and stress. They are all the parts that are holding up your body. They're all the important parts to losing weight. So most people think when they're thinking about weight loss and I'm going to go on this weight loss journey, that they go exercise and nutrition. Cool. But sleep and stress are also very important for the weight loss journey, and I'll talk to you about those in a second. So let's talk about exercise first. We all know what exercise does, I hope. We all know what exercise does for us. But just very quickly, there's a whole range of reasons why we want to exercise. For our physical health, it can ward off diseases such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, the list goes on, and that kind of all relates to that, well, a little bit relates to the visceral fat that I mentioned around the belly as well. So, as well as the physical benefits of exercising, there are also the mental benefits of exercising as well. Exercise has proven to help with depression and anxiety. And I don't know about you, but if I am having one of those days where the kids have driven me absolutely bonkers and I just want to climb up the walls and go crazy, going out and doing some exercise, or even exercising with them by my feet if I have to, but that exercise actually releases so much stress and tension from my body, fills me up with a happy hormone, which is endorphins, which makes me feel relaxed and happy and ready to actually deal with my kids again. So very important for your mental health. However, there are 3 reasons why exercise may not, 3 reasons why you might be doing a lot of exercise or whatever it is, but it's not contributing to your weight loss. So the first is you've plateaued. So you might be doing this exercise program, you might have been doing it for 6 months, you go and do exactly the same classes at the gym every single week. You do exactly the same, video that you do every single second day or something, every single second day. That doesn't make sense either. Every day, every week, whatever. But you've plateaued, because what you want to do is your body has just gotten to a point where it's like you've worked it hard and it's like, oh, okay, cool, this is new, this is exciting. And your body's just like, what's next? I know what I'm doing here. I'm not going to work super hard. You're not shocking my muscles here. So that's why rejigging your exercise, and for those of you that do the online PT with me, this is why I rejig your exercise plan every 6 weeks. So I create new workouts for you every 6 weeks that build on those previous 6 weeks, simply to stop you from plateauing. The other thing that you might be doing is the wrong type of exercise. So, for example, a lot of the people, well, it used to be considered that the best type of exercise for losing weight is cardiovascular exercise. So doing anything that is raising your heartbeat. However, studies are now showing that cardiovascular exercise is just one component to a really good exercise program, and doing strength training and flexibility as well, but that's something completely different. Let's concentrate on strength training as well. Provides huge benefits in terms of weight loss, and that relates back to the point I had earlier about building muscle and how your muscles burn energy to recover, hence why you're then losing weight by doing that. So a good workout that I like to recommend is trying to do some HIIT, which is high intensity interval training, which is really based on getting your heart rate up, but also some strength training in, and they're nice quick workouts. They're really good for mums because you can get it done within 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and you still feel the effects for up to 24 to 48 hours afterwards. You're still actually learning the fat by doing HIIT. Another reason why you may not be losing weight because you're exercising is because you're not doing enough exercise. Okay, so and I mean, that's a hard one because we do have children at home and we do have lots of things going on in our life. But if you are wanting to lose weight in particular, my recommendation is that you are doing some form of moderate to high intensity exercise at least 4 times a week. So that is exercise. Then nutrition. So when it comes to nutrition, I think we all know by now, well, I'm hoping we all know, that a diet that's based on, lollies, chips, burgers, pies, those type of things, that's not going to give you weight loss. In fact, it's going to build the visceral fat around your body as well, around your organs. But it can be as simple as making just a few tweaks to your diet. And while I'm not here specifically to talk about nutrition tonight, in this handout that I've got for you, and those of you that are catching the live stream, you'll actually get this. I'm posting within the group tomorrow night, this handout for you. So I've got a link there to the Australian Healthy Eating Guidelines. So pop on there, have a look, and you'll get a good idea of the types of foods that you need to be eating for optimum weight loss. So let's talk about the next thing now, which is stress. So this is the big two that I really wanted to touch on tonight. So stress does make it hard to lose weight, and especially around the tummy. And the reason for that is because stress creates a hormone within our body called cortisol. And sometimes cortisol increases the amount of fat that is within our body and clings and enlarges the fat cells within our body. Okay? So some studies have even suggested that cortisol leads to an increase of that visceral fat, which is that organ fat that I had mentioned before. So when you are looking to do weight loss, one of the important things to remember is the way that stress actually has an effect on your body. Because not only is stress causing that cortisol and effectively creating big fat cells within your body, it's also creating opportunities, like stress lowers your immune system, so you do find that you might be getting sick more regularly. Also stress has got huge stress causes problems with our mental health as well. So that's all really important when you are trying to get healthier in general. The other one, which I hate to bring up with mums because sleep is such a precious commodity, but it is sleep, unfortunately. So for those of us that have children that are still waking through the night, we can only do what we can do. So we can only get as much sleep as our children are going to allow us to do. So what I really am aiming to talk about here is not the lack of sleep that we're getting from children keeping us awake at night. It is the lack of sleep that we are creating for ourselves. So I don't know about you, but I certainly, like, my kids will go to sleep, and at the moment I'll jump on the computer and work like forever. Or if I'm giving myself off a night from work, I will sit on Netflix and I will watch quite a few episodes of a TV series. So in effect, I'm staying up to like 11 o'clock midnight and my kids are going to bed at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. So I'm lessening the amount of time, or reducing the amount of time I'm actually sleeping, and that's all through me. Other things that might be contributing to our lack of sleep is studies have shown the blue screen from a TV can really affect the way that we actually sleep and the level of sleep that we fall into. For one, it can keep us up. We have trouble falling asleep. And two, our REM, so our REM sleep, and which is like our heavy sleep and light sleep, is really affected by the screen light, particularly within the first couple of hours that you are going to sleep. So again, now those are things that we can control and are within our control. So why is sleep so important for weight loss? Basically, lack of sleep creates stress within the body. So that links us back to why is stress harmful for us? Why is stress helping us to not lose weight? And that comes back to the stress hormone, which is cortisol, that has been created. So basically that is the 4 pillars to good health, and why we really want to concentrate on making sure we're getting all those 4 pillars, or doing as much as we can with those 4 pillars in our lives, so that we have got the optimum opportunity to lose the weight that we're wanting to lose. Does anyone have any questions about that so far? No? Cool, okay. Well, we're going so well for time too. I was hoping to get everything wrapped up by 8:15, so we're doing really well. If I am talking too fast, though, just go, well, Nikki, slow down.
I'm used to that.
I know, I get really excited, and then I just go, so tell me to slow down if I need to. Alright, so let's talk about the last 3 things that I wanted to talk about, which is how can we actually make these changes? Because it's all well and good to be told, this is why you're not losing weight, this is what you need to do to lose weight, and you might be sitting there going, well, how do I do it? So, this is just 3 ways that you can do it. And they're not like, it's not a step-by-step guide on how to do it, but it's 3 things that you might want to implement. So the first is taking control. Okay, so by taking control, what I mean is, we've got young children at home, or you might have older children at home, but regardless, you've got really busy lives going on. Take control of what you can control. So it's like the sleep. We can't control that our children are waking us through the night, but what we can control is when we are choosing to go to sleep ourselves, when we're choosing to go to bed. When it comes to stress, try and take control of what you can control in a stressful situation. You may not be able to control the stress that you're experiencing, for example, in your job, or you might not be able to control the stress that you're experiencing at home. But what you can do is find ways to help alleviate that stress. Whether that is by doing a meditation, and a meditation could be just 1 minute a day, that is fine. It could be finding time to have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee quietly to yourself. I say that sort of quietly under my breath because with young children that doesn't happen either, does it? But it could also be some other things, such as just simply going outside and getting a bit of a change of environment. I certainly find when I step outside, I feel a lot less stress. So sometimes I feel like all the walls are just caving in on me. So getting outside and just getting into nature can help relieve a little bit of stress as well. And then by taking control, say for example, your nutrition, you can take control of your nutrition, not necessarily by doing a complete overhaul of your nutrition, but start taking the little steps. So for example, you might be in a situation where you have the choice of having the freezer meal that you have previously created in your freezer or going and getting McDonald's. Take control of that situation and choose the choice that you feel is going to be best for you in that situation. So I'm not going to say whatever is good or bad here because you are all adults and you can choose for yourself what you're going to do. Nutrition could also be just taking the simple act of having an apple a day. I have one particular client, she did one of my 12-week challenges, and she was starting with her nutrition. She was swapping out dessert and just having an apple in the evenings. She lost a phenomenal amount of weight, actually trained with her today, and she's looking amazing. And that's just one of the steps that she actually took towards her weight loss goal and what she took control of. Then it comes to exercise. Take control of what you can do. So when I say exercise, I'm not saying go out and do a 60-minute workout. I'm not saying go to the gym and smash weight workout. I'm not saying go for a run. Just take control of what you can, and if that means you're getting a 10-minute workout in that day, awesome. If that means that you're able to get a 3-minute workout done in your day, awesome. It all contributes. So that's what I mean when I say take control. The other thing is consistency. So you need to be consistent when it comes to your weight loss. You cannot do an exercise session and at the end of that exercise session jump on the scales and go, okay, I should have lost 1 kilo by doing that. It doesn't work like that. Same with nutrition. You can't eat one healthy meal and then expect that to have a huge difference. But what will is by having those healthy meals or doing that exercise, or getting the regular sleep or de-stressing and doing that consistently. And generally it's going to take anywhere between say 9 to 12 weeks before you do actually start seeing results there. Okay, and Megan, I'm going to use you as an example here because Megan started out with me in January, and Megan's doing this she's training for a walk. She's doing the Canberra Centenary Trail walk over Easter holidays, which is a 20 kilometre, some days 30, kilometres per day for her walk. So when Megan started training with me in January, you hadn't really walked much, had you?
No.
Yeah.
Longest I walked was like 6 kilometres, and that was hard.
Yeah.
Like, hard.
Yeah.
How much? 6 kilometres.
6
was
hard.
Yeah. Like, I was super
So, and my point here is we're 2 months later, and Megan's now walking 15. Did you do 15 k's the other day?
18 total over the course of the day. So.
Yeah. Well, there you go, 18, and that's from consistency. She didn't on January 2nd walk out and walk 18 kilometres. It's been building up over that time, but it's been consistent. So now she's seeing the results that she's wanting to see, and that's the same with weight loss as well. You've got to be consistent, and you can't go for like 3 weeks without doing anything and then expect the same consistency. You can't expect results if you choose to not do anything for 3 weeks. You need to consistently be doing the 4 pillars if you're after weight loss. The last thing that I'm going to talk about, the same, I'm still on tips and things, but I don't want you to be overwhelmed, so break it down. So similar to Megan's story about how she broke it down and just gradually increased the distances that she was doing over time. The same goes for example, with your nutrition. It might be that you implement having that apple for dessert, and then a couple of weeks later you go, you know what, I'm cool. I'm loving my apple dessert each night. Now I'm going to start having more vegetables with my breakfast or something like that. So just implementing small changes. Don't walk out of here or walk away from the seminar tonight and go, righto, I'm going to go to bed at 9 o'clock tonight. I'm going to do a meditation tonight as well. I might eat a healthy snack and I might do a workout as well, because you're just going to get completely overwhelmed. So you need to pick what's going to work first. So
That's me.
that's you. At least I motivated you. But yeah, it probably will lead to overwhelm, because you do get to a point where you're like, I've just implemented like this whole overhaul of my lifestyle, and it's tough. It can be quite overwhelming to do. So make small changes, break it down into goals if you need to. That pretty much takes me to the end of everything I wanted to talk about tonight. Does anyone have any questions? No? I'm going to take that as I've answered everything. Rather than I don't even know what she's just talked about. But I will let you guys know as well, in case you are interested in doing future work with me. So for coming along to tonight's seminar, you do receive a one-on-one coaching call with me. And for those of you that are watching the seminar live stream or even on the replay, if you put leave in the comment section of the video there that you would like a one-on-one coaching session, you will receive a one-on-one coaching session. So that one-on-one coaching session is where I get on the phone with you and we will talk about any of these aspects that we've spoken about tonight. So the 4 pillars and how we can implement that in your lifestyle. We'll really get down deep and work out your why and what is affecting you in your lifestyle and what's preventing you from moving forward. And it doesn't necessarily need to be about weight loss. It might just be that you want to start exercising more. It might be that you want to change up your nutrition. It could be that you just want some stress-free exercise, some stress-free activities to do, or whatever it is. So that's what we discuss in our one-on-one coaching call. You also get, I'm just going to duck over this way. For coming tonight, you get the little book of snacks, little healthy snacks, which is a book that's got a whole bunch of different recipes in there for you. So some really good ideas, especially if you do struggle with snacks and choosing the best snacks for you. I will be emailing, because I've got your email addresses. I'll email you the link to this so that you can download that ebook. as well. And for those of you watching the watching the video live stream, again, pop in comments that you would like the free ebook and I'll send it to you. So if you've got any questions about any of the services that I offer as well, because I do online coaching, online PT, where I do provide workouts, I provide advice. I've got the online personal training, I've got a 28-day body blitz, I've got meal plans in there as well if that's something that interests you. And I do run a 12-week challenge as well, which focuses on all of those 4 pillars that we've discussed. If any of that is of interest, just let me know and I'm more than happy to give you some more info as well. But thank you for coming tonight. I really appreciate that you've taken time out of your night to come along.
Thank you. Can I actually ask a really good question?
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, and sorry, you might have covered this and perhaps the baby was doing this thing at the time. So if the visceral fat, like I know that's the stuff that is like the really risky stuff, and if that's more related to, say, cortisol and stress.
Yeah.
Is it more related to that than what you eat, or is it kind of a bit of both?
It's a bit of both. Yeah.
So, because I was just wondering if that's where, like, exercise, I mean, I know you're saying exercise alone isn't going to do it, but like where the stress release stuff kind of really makes a difference. Is there any way to know if that's making a real difference?
I don't think there's a way of knowing, particularly with the visceral fat, where and why you're accumulating fat in your body. We don't know that, and we also don't have the ability to pinpoint what you've changed in your life that is helping release that.
Yeah.
But basically, visceral fat is exactly the same as any other fat in your body. It's just the fat that's accumulating around the organ. So it's just another layer of fat much deeper down that you wouldn't have around your bones and things like that. But unfortunately, there is no magic fix that we can go, yes, this is stress. But having said that, when we get on the coaching call with me, I've got, I'll ask a series of questions that really dig deep down. So you will be able to determine what pillar of a health that you're most struggling with. So through our coaching call, it might be that you do realise, you know what, it's the stress that's the biggest issue for me right now, and then we work out a plan for you to move forward based on that. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, if no one's got any, no one else has got questions, then thank you very much for coming. Thank you. And I'll turn you guys off. Thanks for watching.